Alright, everybody. Welcome back to Major Gaming, and today we're gonna bitch. We're gonna bitch about the new Walking Dead chapter that dropped for Dead by Daylight, because it is not right. It is not okay. It's very lazy, very disappointing in many ways, and I kind of figured it would happen after the PTB there. Yeah, I kind of figured it would happen. So yeah. Now, granted, not everything in the chapter and what came with it is bad. I'd say some of the perks that came with the characters are cool. Not too broken, but also, they're cool. The models for the characters look good, some of the balance changes for some of the killers that they did were good. Pyramid Head, Pig, and Knight. They ended up making good, healthy changes for those characters, so that's good. You got 3 killers that have been buffed that needed it. I don't know if Pyramid Head necessarily needed a buff, but like the add-on rework, the change to the cages, everything, like, yeah, it's solid, Maybe not perfect, but definitely solid. He feels fun to play, and, like, you could do different things with him, and it's not like, you're stuck, That's how Pyramid Head has felt for a while. Alright, so that's pretty much it for positives, unfortunately. Yeah, there's some problems we're going to talk about, starting with the content that is actually in the chapter, the 2 survivors. Now, like I said, the models are great. The regular voice lines are great. But the grunts and everything, I can look past it, but I can also see how that's all very annoying. Like, for me, it's like, whatever. But I could see how the voice lines for the grunts, the screams, and all that are just off compared to, like, what we normally get. The quality is not as good this time. Which is crazy because this is the first time I've ever seen bad quality in the voice lines. I've never seen this before. This is a new low, unfortunately. When it comes to the grunts and everything. The regular voice lines are cool, but yeah. And then we also have this problem with, what was I going to say? We have a problem with, one of the voice lines for Michonne literally has background noise from the take. They didn't even take out the other person talking from one of the voice lines, which is absolutely wild. Like, this chapter feels so rushed and so incomplete, and they just tried to do way too much with it. Way too much. That's how this feels. Like, buffing 4 killers, adding in a new item, reworking. Oh, that is another thing I will say. The key and the map reworks, I think, are pretty good. I've been using the map in Chase, and not gonna lie, it's been pretty fucking helpful. So, like, I don't know. Some people are saying the map rework made maps worse. I don't see that at all. I have been using the maps for being in Chase, and I can finally use Windows of Opportunity without having to put the perk on. Because for me, like, I have had most of the maps memorized by this point with everything. I have a pretty damn good memory, at least long term, when it comes to, like, memorizing, like, patterns and stuff. I have most of the maps pretty much memorized. I know where everything is. It's just, you never know when a pallet is going to be gone or not. So I always know where to go, but obviously you can't tell where the pallets have already been used or not. And I can remember the pallets that I used, but I can't account for my teammates. The map actually helps a lot with that, because I don't need it to tell me where things are. I just need it to tell me what has been used and what has not been used. And for me, that's very helpful. My chases have been a little longer, And I like using it as Survivor. I think they did something good with the maps, and I don't think it's too broken because you have a limited amount of charges that you can use up if you don't use them properly, which is great item design. And we're gonna get into why the fog vials are not great item design, but for the maps, killed it. Don't know why they didn't do the same with the fog vials, but maps cool. They have Anyway, as I was saying, so getting into more of the Walking Dead content, I went off on a little tangent. I forgot that was the chapter as a whole, they just tried to do way too much. They really did. And they did a lot that they didn't even tell us about. They brought back the Go Next prevention, the system, which some people are saying like, oh, I'm getting wrongfully banned or whatever from that. I've seen one person complain about it online, and other than that, people are fine, so I don't think it's that big of a problem. Like, if that was truly an epidemic like it was the last time, we'd see way more complaints about it, but most people don't even know it's been brought back. So, like, that's fine. I think that's a fine thing to do, I haven't had any issues as a Survivor player, so what? Like, I don't care. Then we get into, like, they changed, like I said, they changed 4 killers, brought in 6 Survivor perks. They brought in a lazy ass map. They brought in, fucking 3, essentially 3 newish, 2 reworked items and 1 new item. Like, they just did way too much for one chapter. I don't think they were able to keep up with it, and they didn't have to do all this. Like I said, killer changes, good idea. Adding and reworking the items that already exist, good idea. The map was not needed. Oh no. The fog vials could have had more time to cook, honestly. They did not need to come in this chapter. They just didn't. They needed more time to cook with these. Yeah. And then, other than that, like, the perks, like, most of them are okay. They're not great, but they're also not broken. But 2 of them, bro, they really messed up on 2 of them. So, first, before I get into that, let's get into the new map, which I absolutely despise for many reasons. For one, it's just an embarrassment to have in the game, honestly, as a map. It's literally Withered Isle with no main building and a puke stain on it. Like, 1 new tile? Like, what is this map? It's literally nothing. It literally does not need to be there. It needs to be removed as a map. Like, remove it. It's embarrassing. It shouldn't. It makes the game look bad. Like, it is so lazy, and it's an eyesore to look at, and, like, it doesn't even fucking make sense, bro. And the crazy thing is, they could have made a map. Like, they easily could have. They, like, were, like, almost there, but just didn't want to, like, continue. Like, all they had to do was, like, take Withered Isle, right? Like, it's like a forest, right? Put multiple Walking Dead themed tiles, not just the one, just like a couple. Put some cars, some broken cars like they have on the lobby screen there. Just some cars, crashed into each other so it looks apocalyptic. Change up the stain a little bit so that it doesn't look like puke, and then put in a killer shack. But, like, seeing picnic tables next to this zombie tile is disgusting. It looks wrong. Like, the Withered Isle map has such a different vibe. It's such a cartoony vibe compared to the realistic, grimy Walking Dead vibe of the tile. It's nasty. They don't work together. for Five Nights at Freddy's, it worked because Five Nights at Freddy's is a cartoony horror space. So, like, the cartoony vibes of the Greenville Square map, the Withered Isle map, it's a little like the extra colors and the purples and everything and you know, all that. It worked because it fits with the vibe of Five Nights at Freddy's. Fucking Walking Dead, the grimy, realistic vibe of Walking Dead does not fit in Withered Isle. It just does not. It's apocalyptic. Now, granted, they should have just made it a whole different realm, honestly. Just get it out of Withered Isle. Withered Isle, I really hope, does not become the dumping ground for licensed content where they don't want to make a full map. I really hope it doesn't. You know, it makes sense with Five Nights at Freddy's, but like The Walking Dead, no, it needed its own thing, bro. Like, you gotta remove that map and move that tile or something. Just do anything else with it. Like, I don't care if you take that tile and then put it on a different map. I don't, honestly, put it on Dead Sands, bro. If you're gonna put it on a map, put it on Dead Sands. I feel like that actually would kind of make sense because Dead Sands and Eerie of Crows is kind of like apocalyptic a little bit, like desert apocalyptic, and then you put the tile on Dead Sands and it gives Dead Sands a little bit of something. Do that. Get that tile off of that map and put it on Dead Sands, bro. Just get it out. It's nasty. So wrong. Just, it doesn't work. It's so disappointing. It's so disappointing, honestly. And that's just the map. Now I've ranted about the map. Let's get into the perks. Now, most of the perks are fine, but there's two of Michonne's perks. They need changes. Last Stand and Conviction. Last Stand, apparently, like, I've seen it in game, is giving permanent finesse. Like, you literally have permanent finesse. What is this? What is this? It doesn't even make sense. What is that? I don't know if that's a bug or not, but it's giving permanent finesse. Yeah, that needs to not happen. That needs to not be there. That is ridiculous. Okay? No. There's no cooldown on it. Like, there's nothing you could do. Like, it's just there, and you just have infinite finesse. It's crazy. That needs to be changed. And then, Conviction. Conviction is a problem. The fact that you can get downed, and, like, Trickster or Huntress... if Trickster or Huntress... it takes longer for them to reload at a locker before picking up a survivor than it does for the survivor to get up and run away. That's insane. Okay, you gotta give the killer a little bit of fucking time to breathe after winning a chase. It makes, like, come on. And that's literally just a ranged killer downing someone, going to a locker, reloading, coming back, and then the survivor's gone. How does that work? That is insane. That needs to be changed. I mean, like, this perk would be okay, but you gotta have a different starting point, you know? Like, I'd say at least 50% before you could pick yourself up. At least, because you pair with Unbreakable and you're getting up in a couple seconds. Like, it's crazy. Either that or, like, I don't know, just have it drop the survivor faster. Maybe like 25%, but you only get 10 seconds to run away. Or like 20 seconds instead of 30. Because, like, I don't know, that perk needs to be changed. It's just not good design at all. And what I've noticed is, actually, we'll get into that later with the fog vials. We'll get into that later with the fog vials. Actually, you know what? I've actually talked about the perks. Now it's time for the fog vials. we're gonna get into so I see this dude on Twitter, right? John Behavior. Now he's certified. I've heard that name before, so I don't know this guy, but apparently he might have a name in the community. And he's talking about the fog vials, and he's like, oh well, fog vials aren't super strong, so like they don't need to be changed or whatever. And I just want to go on this rant. I have a couple rants when it comes to the fog vials and the stupid arguments people are making, bro. Stupid. Just dumb as fuck. Okay, I'm over it. I'm so over it. Okay? For one, okay? Just because something isn't strong does not mean it's not unhealthy for the game and doesn't need to be changed. Okay? And we have proof of this because of what happened with Skull Merchant, what happened with Sadako, what's now happening with Clown. None of these killers were ever super strong other than Sadako with her slug thing. But other than that, if you didn't play her like that, she wasn't very strong. I don't think none of those three killers have ever been considered like above A tier at any point, and most of those haven't even been A tier. Like Skull Merchant and Clown, not above B tier ever. None. Clown's barely ever been above Clown now might be B tier, but that's not the point. Also, Trickster is another one where he's had to have been changed, even though he's never been super strong. He's never been super strong. He's never been considered A or S tier, maybe B tier. Now he's C tier. Like, but these characters, right? They were unhealthy and needed reworks and changes and nerfs and buffs and whatever. The fog vials are the same damn thing. Okay, we have multiple instances of the killers having to sacrifice their character, not because they're strong, but because they're unhealthy for the game. So we bring in this new item, right, that is not healthy for the game. It's really not, for multiple reasons I'm going to get into. And people are defending it, saying, oh, just learn the counterplay. Bitch, why didn't you learn the counterplay to Skull Merchant? Why didn't you learn the counterplay to Trickster? Why didn't you learn the counterplay to... Why don't you learn the new counterplay to Clown? Okay, why don't you do that? Every time anyone ever said that before, it was like, oh, but it's unhealthy. It's not fun to go against. Well, now people are saying the fog vials aren't fun. They're unhealthy. And you're, oh, we'll just learn the counterplay. It's like, bitch, shut the fuck up. You're a fucking dumbass. I don't give a fuck. That is a stupid ass argument, considering what has happened with this game in the past and how many people bitch about killers before ever trying to learn the counterplay. Okay? Like, shut the fuck up. If you're gonna say that, then you are literally the same as people who are like, oh, just learn to counterplay to Kaneki. Kaneki is strong. He is good. That's the thing. He needs some changes. He needs some reworks. The whole capture tech or whatever the fuck it's called needs to be nerfed. That needs to be taken out. There are things that need to happen to Kaneki. All the people that are saying, oh, just learn to counterplay, are the same motherfuckers making the same argument on the Survivor side now about the fog vials. Oh, just learn to counterplay. Shut the fuck up. I don't care. Like, bro, the thing's unhealthy, and I'm gonna get into why it's unhealthy. Okay, for one, it is annoying as hell when you have multiple survivors dropping smoke bombs on you that cover like half the fucking map. The Eerie add-on needs to be nerfed. The fog vials themselves should not have infinite fucking charges. It should not be infinite. The fog vials are so brain dead easy to use and are infinite. The maps aren't. Why aren't the maps infinite then? Why can't I have infinite windows? Oh, because it would, mess with the perk windows of opportunity, right? That's why it's not permanent. Well, fog vials is the same thing. Okay, and it's not just the fog vials itself. It's what can happen when a team of survivors uses different things with the fog vials. Imagine getting fog vialed and then fucking flashlighted or flashbanged or head-on stunned when you're just like getting used to the fact that you just got instantly disoriented in this fog. Like, it happens instantly. It's not gradual at all. Like, it just instant smoke everywhere after a big bright fucking light. And then you're like, oh, okay, hold up. I need to take a second to fucking reconfigure myself. The survivor you were chasing is now gone. And now you could get head on stunned because you're near a locker that you can't even see. Like, it needs to be changed. Infinite charges need to go. I'd say three charges per fog vial, because right now, literally, if so, the cooldown is a minute, right? If you play a 10-minute game of Dead by Daylight, you could technically see the fog vial 10 times in that game because of the minute cooldown from one fog vial. Now imagine 4 fog vials. You are seeing it. You have the potential to see a fog vial 40 fucking times in a 10-minute match of Dead by Daylight. How? How is that healthy? How is that healthy? 40 fucking times. If you can't see how insane that is, I don't know what to tell you, bro. Like, if they drop the charges down to 3 per fog vial, like, at least then survivors have to think about when they're gonna throw it. Because right now, fog vials are brain dead as fuck. You literally just see killer, drop, run. Like, that, how is that not, like, that is literally the lowest skill ceiling I have ever seen. You just drop and disappear. Like, you don't have to think about it. You just, oh, killer, gone. Like, what, how is that healthy? How does that make sense? It's brain dead. And you know what else is brain dead? Clown. Clown is brain dead right now. Okay? Clown should be changed because he's brain dead. The fog vials are brain dead and should be changed. If you add in a charge limit, it makes it, you have to think, oh, do I really want to drop the vial now? Is that the best idea? Because I only have 3 of them. Like, it's thought. It's thinking. You have to think. You have to put in effort with the fog vial. You can't just throw it down. Oh, in a minute I'll have another one. Like, what? You know, like, other than, and then the size of the fog vials is wild. But I think now that's just from a balance perspective, bro. That's just from a balanced perspective of why fog vials are stupid. They honestly are. And this comes from a Survivor player that wants new items and wants strong stuff for Survivor just as much as Killer. Like, these are just dumb. They're not that fun to use. And because they're so brain dead, but they're also, like, pretty damn good. Especially against new players. Which you want new players playing the game, and now you just drop literal smoke bombs on them while they're trying to learn this complicated ass game that they're never gonna, like, come on, man. Like, now, also, there's the fact that they're an accessibility problem, right? Now, people are trying to say, oh, it's not an accessibility issue, it's a skill issue. Dog. For one, you are not a doctor, so shut the fuck up about what is or isn't an accessibility issue. Literally, you are not a doctor. You do not know what people's health conditions are. You're talking about people's health conditions and calling it a skill issue. How fucking retarded are you? And yes, I just said retarded because that is a fucking retarded ass argument. It really is. Like, how the fuck are you gonna say, oh, it's a skill issue that you have bad eyesight, that you have bad hearing, that you have, you know, epilepsy, that you, like, what? Like, what? That's a skill issue to you? Shut the fuck up. That is dumb as fuck. Okay? Literally just dumb as fuck. It's not a skill issue, okay? And these problems are problems that people have, and you need to fucking shut the fuck up about that, because that makes no goddamn sense. Okay? If someone has one eye, which, yes, people have one eye, or have one ear, That doesn't work. And they get hit with a smoke bomb, and it muffles the hearing and makes it worse. It's, I don't know, like, that's not a skill issue that they could just counter, okay? And it's literally like how white people will talk about black people problems, like they know exactly how to deal with it. It's literally the same thing. Like, you want to call me ableist for saying retarded? You're ableist for fucking telling people with disabilities how they just need to deal with it. That is actually ableist. That is actually, you talking down on someone with a disability and telling them just get good. Like, that is ableist. Me saying you're fucking retarded because you said that is not ableist. Like, I had someone fucking come at me over that because I've called people retarded, and I'm like, bro, I call people without disabilities retarded. Like, it's not a specific thing to people with disabilities. It's just because you're fucking dumb. Like, cope, I don't care. Like, Jesus Christ. Anyway, now that's that. So yes, it's causing accessibility issues, and that is a problem. And just because we have other accessibility issues in the game does not mean that this one gets defended. Okay, Spirit has accessibility problems. Spirit should also have something to help with that. But that doesn't mean that the Fog Vials get a free pass because Spirit also has problems. That's not how that fucking works. Please stop with that. That's just dumb. Now, alright. Now, my suggestions for the Fog Vials. 3 charges per Fog Vial. Cooldown. Up it to like 80 seconds instead of 60. And now, what I suggest to help with some of the accessibility options, instead of it being a smoke bomb, make it into a nightfall bomb. Nightfall. Like Dredge's Nightfall. Literally drop the Fog Vial, and instead of a white fog with a bright white light, you drop it, and it slowly builds up with dark fog, black fog that goes around. It slowly builds it up and creates this fog of darkness around you and the killer. And honestly, that would probably make the Fog Vial a little stronger at the end, because you can still see the scratch marks through the Fog Vial the way it is now. But if you darken it and you make it so that the killer and the survivor both have like that little bit of light ahead of them, like in Nightfall, it might actually make the vials a little stronger, which is not a bad thing. Like I said, I want strong items. I don't want annoying items. Now, again, I'm going to reiterate. 3 charges. Gradual build up to the smoke. Possibly 80-second cooldown. We'd have to see after changing to 3 charges. It might not need a longer cooldown, but we'll see. Now, 3 charges. Gradual buildup of dark black smoke, like with Nightfall. And it fits thematically better. Like, it feels more horror to have it be dark smoke instead of white smoke. Like, it feels more like a horror thing. So, like, it makes the game more horror related. And the gamma settings that are currently in the game that help with Nightfall for people with accessibility issues would also help with the new Fog Vials. If they just made the Fog Vials dark. Bam! How many issues just got fixed? Because you just changed the color of the fog from white to black. Like, it's not that big of a fucking deal, people. You need to, like, have some creative fucking thinking and just be like, that's a pretty reasonable fucking thing to suggest. Like, Jesus Christ. I really don't fucking understand. I'm swearing a lot in this video. I'm gonna get demonetized as fuck. I'm not even monetized. I don't give a fuck. I'm not monetized right now anyway. But yeah, so there's that. That's the Fog Vials. Now, we move on to Clown, who they made brain dead and unhealthy, and that needs to be fixed. I don't know why they didn't change much from the PTB even after they got feedback on the Clown, but here we are. Now Clown is NASCAR fast all the time. I don't think the instant activation is the problem. I think the fact that they boosted up the haste is the problem. He didn't need to be going that fast. If you kept the instant activation, but then brought the haste back down to 8 seconds, perfectly fine. I feel like that would have been fine. You know, or not 8 seconds, 8%. I'm pretty sure that's where it was at. 8%, and you had the activation be instant, that would be fine. You know, or, and then you kept the hinder the same. That would have been enough, and you increase the speed of the bottles. You know, you do all that. I feel like that would have been enough. You didn't need, you over buffed the haste and then over nerfed the hinder, and it's just this gross fucking thing that I hope doesn't take a year to fix, like Trickster and Skull Merchant. I hope, because I can't deal with another killer being treated that way. It would just be stupid. Like, either you do that or you rework Clown entirely, but I think if you just drop some of these numbers down, buff the hinder again, and leave it at that, I think that'd be fine. Do not nerf the haste without buffing the hinder back, okay? Then, because Clown was weak as fuck before, we don't need him weaker, okay? Nerf the haste back to where it was, buff the hinder back to where it was, and then leave it like that. And see what happens. Please. That makes sense. Other than that, I feel like it's fine. Now, that's Clown. Franklin's demise. For the love of God, bring it back. Because now there's no counter to the healing meta, really. Nothing. There's really nothing. You've essentially taken away all counter to the healing meta and just said, go fuck yourself. Crazy. Even after people have been consistently complaining about the healing meta for months, you just keep making it worse, which is insane. Absolute insanity behavior. Come the fuck on. Now, Streetwise, apparently right now, is giving people like infinite fucking toolboxes, which is insane. For the love of God, I don't know if this is a bug or if this is like a result of the rework to Streetwise, but fucking fix it. It needs to be fucking fixed. Just fix that shit, because goddamn. And then bugs. Obviously, there's a bunch of bugs going on. What I will say, just to defend behavior a little tiny bit, okay? Because there is some arguments for the bugs don't really make a whole lot of sense. So let me just defend behavior a little bit. They're gonna get a micro peen of defense, okay? So pretty much with these bugs, yes, they are game breaking. Yes, they are annoying. But I play this game, right? I play pretty frequently. I've seen the chase bug happen once out of like close to like 50 games I've played since this patch came in, right? If not more than 50. I've seen it one time on Survivor or Killer. I've only ever seen it one time. So, yes, it's annoying. Yes, it's bad. Yes, it needs to be fixed immediately. But also, I barely see it. So, I feel like some people are kind of overreacting just because it is possible to happen. But I've rarely seen it. Also, the issue with, what was I gonna say? There was another, alright, so people keep saying in their videos that they want behavior to delay new content in order to fix the bugs that are currently in the game, right? Now, I understand why that would kind of make sense in a way, but we gotta really think about this from a business perspective, right? Delaying new content might not help increase the amount of fixing of the bugs. It probably won't. There's a reason why behavior hasn't just done that, okay? And it's because when you work in these companies, everyone's hired for a specific job, right? And they have a specific number of people that are hired that can do this job, that are trained to do this job. If you have 20 people that were hired that are on the team that are there to fix bugs, that is all they do. And then if you have 100 people that are hired there specifically for designing new content, right? Cosmetics, gameplay, new powers, new everything, coming up with ideas. If you have 100 of those people, that is all they do in most cases. They are not trained to fix bugs like the 20 people you have over here. So, if you delay new content, right? These 100 people are not just gonna move over here and help fix bugs. That's not how that works. Like, it's not gonna add to the manpower of bug fixing, because they don't know how to do that. Maybe you could train them, but I'm pretty sure it's not like a desk job where you could be like, oh, just hit the buttons. Like, no, it would take time and possibly a whole school to do that. So, like, these people, if you delay new content, these people right over here, the designers, they just don't have anything to do anymore. Because you delayed new content, and the bug people are not being helped. Now, I can understand that avoiding adding new content avoids adding more bugs, but it's not going to help with the fixing of the old bugs that they still haven't fixed yet. Like, it's not going to help that. If anything, like, it'll be worse, because if they stop making money off of new content, they can't fund the people that are fixing the old content, because they do that for free, essentially. Behavior fixes old content for free. Yes, it leads to money down the road because more people will play the game and stuff, but, like, they can't guarantee that. They're fixing old content and fixing bugs for free. The new content is what helps fund that. If you take away the funding, then they're not going to have the manpower anymore to fix the bugs, and it'll only get worse, and then the game dies. That's how that works. Like, you can't do that from a business perspective. It doesn't make sense in the long run. Like, sure, like, the thought at first sounds right. You know, you're like, oh, just don't put new stuff in there until we fix the old bugs. But that's not going to fix anything. It's not. That's just the way the world works. That's how money works. That's how running a company works. If you're not in the business, you can't really speak on that like that, because you don't know what's going to happen if you stop new content. If you stop the money, the game dies. That's it. There's no, like, if you stop the money, the game dies. No money, no game. That's it. That's it. This is a live service game. It's not a single player game. No money, no game. So stopping the money most likely won't help more bugs get fixed, and it will fuck over the game. So let's not do that. You know, I get it. Yeah, it adds new bugs, but, like, those could get fixed. And they will get fixed, most likely. I assume that within the next month, maybe I could see delaying the next chapter by like 2 weeks or something like that. But delaying it more than that, I can't see it actually helping in any significant way. So that's that. That's my rant. The Walking Dead chapter, big disappointment. Behavior needs to do better. They need to get on their shit. And it's such a sad thing, because they were on their shit for a while. They were doing good. And then they just fell apart with this chapter for no reason. Like, it's kind of wild. But, yeah. So that's it. That's the end of this rant. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Yeah. That'll be it. Everyone, have a good day.